Good morning, and it's a sunny day here in Glasgow, Scotland. As we continue with um, this series, walking ourselves out of financial debt, walking ourselves out of financial debt. Now, remember, this is not a plan for your to increase your financial portfolio. This is a plan to rescue you from from drowning in debt. I'll make an analogy like here you have your lungs and your lungs have become damaged. The doctors them they will rush because they know that if high rich carbon dioxide blood reaches your brain and your other vital organs, you will die. In your heart, those cells in your heart will become dry and because they're depleted of oxygen, they will start to die. In your brain, you will lose consciousness. So, this is a rescue plan for persons who are drowning in debt. This is a rescue plan. This is not a plan for you to build your financial portfolio. You already have a lot of debt, a lot of financial debt. The analogy is this plan is like you have those small air sacs in your lungs. They are responsible for offloading the carbon dioxide and absorbing the oxygen in the blood. Take that rich oxygenated blood to your brain and the heart and the rest of vital organs. Now, when they got damaged, the surgeons then will run, create a plan. They want to preserve your life. So they start you with some supplemental oxygen so that we can maintain some amount of high oxygenated blood to get to your vital organs. Then they're going to come up with a plan to treat you and they'll review that plan daily. And then they'll see that you are responding to the treatment and they'll start to decrease the percentage of oxygen that you were receiving. And things started to show. It is the same way when you are in financial debt, when that debt is not benefiting you. It's benefiting the banks, it's benefiting the financiers. You can be in financial debt, but you can own a series of real estate, or you have a huge financial portfolio and you have debt and it's manageable. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about the debt that do not benefit you, the debt that has you waking up, cannot sleep, working long hours, do not have anything of substance but only clothing, travels, nice dining, and all the frills of life, but not anything of substance. That is what I'm talking about. Walking ourselves out of financial debt is a rescue plan for persons who are drowning. Just like the analogy of when your small air sacs in your lungs are damaged, it's a rush, it's an emergency what the doctors them do because they know gradually if they can sustain you, if they can keep you alive, they know that days and weeks that your cells will regenerate with the right amount of treatment and things will become improved. Same way when you're in financial debt, you have to have a plan. I am here with a supplemental oxygen giving you this these info to walk yourself out of financial debt. I started in January and I said that we can apply three principles. Those three principles are we look at the our maternal and paternal sides, our parents and our grandparents, and we analyze, we look and see the strengths of their financial lives. If you've noticed it or whatever, if you don't, if you're somebody that was adopted or did not grow with either parents, those persons in your life that can be that you consider those figures, right? A father figure, mother figure, grandmother, grandfather. Those people, look at their strengths and try to adapt that to your life. Apply those strengths to your life. Okay. freezing unnecessary spending, freezing unnecessary spending. And then we see that giving is a critical part of walking ourselves out of financial debt. We created three areas in our lives: one where we keep the necessary things, two things that we can negotiate, we can even keep or give away, and one that we're giving away, we don't need them, there are too many. Those are the three principles we are applying to our lives in walking ourselves out of financial debt. January, February, March. At the end of March, what we are doing, we at the every month we are also paying off our liabilities, and what is left, we are taking 10% of that and putting that aside. We are not spending that. Remember, we already freeze unnecessary spending. So from what is left, we take 10 out of that whole, and the other 90 will go towards other things that are important also in our lives. For the 3 months, January, we put aside, let's say, £200. That's a very generous amount. February, the same. March, the same. At the end, we are looking at £600. Then we will take 10% of that whole, that's 600. That 10% will be about £60. £60 we put towards paying off that debt that have us, you know, thinking, and it caused a lot of discomfort in our lives. We put towards that. The other 90% now is the savings that we have created, that we think that we could not. That is the way, that is a plan we now created. So we take off 60 from 600, so we have like 540 left. And that is in our savings. We are putting that aside. And that is how we are hitting two birds with one stone, walking ourselves out of financial debt. Sometimes it may not be able to be £200 that we'll be able to save at the end of every month, but how much? The principle is the same. This is how we are going to walk ourselves out of financial debt. We do that at the end of March. We repeat that every 3 months. I will not be repeating that with you, but I will refer to that as we go ahead. This is our rescue plan. When you now would have paid off or cover most of your debt, I will start with that from next month. Things that we can do and other principles that we can apply to our lives. Anyone can do it. It is available. Anyone can do it. It all comes with a plan and discipline. When you're in hospital and you have that lung damage, you can't get up and say that you're going to go and take a smoke. You can't. You will not be allowed to cause more damage to your lungs. You will be in a secluded area where you're having oxygen and you less contaminated. In that room, we'll have filters to remove all the unnecessary and all the air that is contaminated, to preserve your life. And that is it. You have to have a plan. You have to be disciplined. You have to work with it. It takes time. After the 3 months, January, February, March, you have applied those principles, you'll have that savings. That savings, you take that 10, put it towards the debt that makes you fret, annoyed, lack of sleep, give you insomnia, and all the other things, have you working extra hours, put that towards it. And the other 90% you put in your savings. You're not going to trouble that unless it is absolutely necessary. Absolutely necessary. You keep that. And that is how you'll be creating your savings and paying off your debt. You've already stopped. You've already freeze unnecessary spending. So we're not going to go back to that. You have to be disciplined. That is how you walk yourselves out of financial debt. As I said, I'll continue also with the certainty of death requires the certainty of life. And as we enter into this Easter season, I'll be the midwife that had delivered Jesus, observing the death, burial, and the resurrection. See you next time.